There we go. Good morning. Happy Easter to those of you that celebrate. I celebrated growing up, but now I will celebrate by playing a sad, lonely Star Wars mobile game and chatting into the void. Because that's how we do things here. Oh man, I need this coffee. Went to my in-laws yesterday. We did our Easter yesterday. And I went to the bathroom, and while I was in the bathroom, my wife convinced my father-in-law that I wanted a gummy. And then my father-in-law, who is a hippie, got very excited about that. And so yesterday was a very interesting Easter for me. Daniel, the dad jokes, you can't, not while I'm not here, man. While I'm out, like, getting my coffee, I look rough. Once the coffee kicks in, we'll be okay. Once that hits. So today is the last day of TB. Unfortunately, I had to do my TB yesterday. Because as you can see, planets were starting to fill up very fast. Oh no, actually that's Vandor, that's yesterday. But I was worried about some of these planets hitting. They didn't. they're very, very close, but I was very nervous about them hitting. So I had to do all of my battles yesterday. And normally I wouldn't care about that kind of thing, but we have the wave war with Phatphil that is currently ongoing. Actually, I believe I know both of our final scores, but we're not going to talk about that right now because Phil and I are going to talk about that later, and we'll find out exactly what's happening and who won. The only thing that I will say is that the score that I did get is the highest wave score that I have ever gotten. And yesterday I had a couple of mishaps with some teams that just did not perform. My Leia team only got 1 of 2 here. My Dark Trooper team, which I thought was going to be an easy 2 for 2, only got 1 of 2 there. The Vandor Jabba thing, I'm told that it's an easy 2 for 2, but I only got 1 for 2. So I have had a not super great Phase 6. But we're going to talk about that later. Phil and I, we're discussing doing a dual announcement for the winner, the loser, and, you know, the punishments. I was very nervous yesterday, and I was doing my battles throughout the day to get them done, like while watching movies at my in-laws between high naps. So it was 100% a very interesting day. Let's see, first 320. Just want to double check that this map is good before I go. I actually want this to go higher, I think, because we need 22 there. We need about 30 here, so we need about 50, and we need about 80. We need about 80, so we should be able to go to 400. Right, because 150, we have 299, excellent. The inevitable torching. First of all, Mountain Goat, happy anniversary. Mine is not coming up. October, we have a long time. How long is the rivalry going on for? I think that Phatphil and I just have a fun energy. I think that this rivalry is going to... I think this rivalry is going to go on pretty much long term. I don't know if there's going to be another wave battle in a little while, just because we got to both figure out our guild strategies. But believe it or not, it was very stressful. I know that he is cooking up some stuff that he wants to do and say and for the future. What do you mean my guild stopped TW? We do TW. Managed to get a new wave score. 105, Nana. Nice. Let's actually, since we did that, we're all done there, right? So while we're all chatting, let's just run those Conquest battles. And I finished Conquest. Oh, that's TWTB. I finished my Conquest. Conquest is over. I'm happy. I just like to run the battles on brunch day because then we get to chat a little bit. I do need some datacrons though, like actual datacrons. So let's say 1120. I got to the point of not needing, like only needing very specific battles Friday night, which was really nice. So yesterday I was able to run things on auto. So I'm glad that I was able to do this. I'm glad that I was able to do this when I had spring break, because it made for a very, very easy Conquest cycle to get everything done. You know, so obviously starting tonight into tomorrow, I'm just going to sim all of this stuff and I won't have to worry about it going back into work. But I got very, very lucky with data disks. And I'm happy about that because I got fucked on data disks the last time, and that made for a really, really hard conquest, even at almost 13 million. Focus Datacrons. What do I think about Focus Datacrons? I you know, Phil and I and Old Man Logan, we talked about this, I think, last week. I think they are too expensive for mass adaptation. And I think that we'll see in the next set that they're reduced to about 7,500. That's my personal opinion. I didn't watch any gameplay. I don't watch any gameplay. I don't watch videos of other people doing things. I have heard that there are some like really super nuts comps out there. Because of their cost, I think that we're going to see them very sparingly outside of K1. And, you know, I don't... There's always going to be a counter on defense. And if you use it on offense, then people in K1 are full clearing each other anyway. I bought one of them. I bought the Mission Vow one. Specifically just for the level 3 for 3v3. I didn't bring it higher than level 3. It's staying at level 3. But that team can be a real pain in the ass in 3s with Zalbar. And I want to see how that Cron performs. Raid Shenanigans, we do not have the raid up today. Though I did bring Quadmate to R8. Not for the raid. But for this wave battle with Phil. And I'm curious to try the R8 tier of the raid next week. I know that Belloc had said that it is not worth it at the R8 tier. But that was early on in the raid cycle, and I'm wondering with the raid changes if that changed. Because if it is easier there now, it would be really nice for me to make it so I don't have to go so crazy on my on that 3-for team. Okay. Yeah, I mean, but the other thing you have to think of with these focused datacrons is they have such a high cost that, like, if you use Boba and Fennec to take out a Quadmate, great, that's awesome. Like, you don't have to use your Bane. But the amount of datacron material you're spending to weaken other teams that you have, unless you're spending a lot of money on datacron material, I don't see it as being widely adapted. How many R9s do I have? I don't know. Probably like 10 or so. Let's see. I've never really counted. First one here, Jabba R9 is my first GL to R9. The Gungans 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, wow, 10. Did I say 10? Is 10 what I said? And then I have a couple shitty ones. So 11. Probably Hoth Rebel Soldier and Mon Mothma is somewhere down here. So I've got like 10 or 11. Or 11 or 12 or whatever it is. I was really nervous that I'd have to bring something to R9 for this battle. I didn't have to, thankfully. Last TB, how many waves do I normally get in TB? Normally I don't do phase 1 because my guild does not need anyone to do phase 1. So when I talk about wave counts, a lot of times you're just adding the phase 1 numbers to that. In the last 3 months, I was averaging about 110 to 115 waves. As of last TB, I did 127 waves, I think it was. And as of this TB, I can't give away my final score right now because Phil and I are still finishing up our battle. But I was at 124 on day 5. So I did fairly well. And we'll see how I do up against Phil. Yeah, I just don't want to spend that much currency on that kind of stuff, on the focused. I'm going to focus on just my regular Datacrons. I have one R9 already. I know Zareth normally puts out a guide of Datacrons that you should be getting. If somebody posts it on my Discord, I look at it, but I don't go out looking for it. Oh my god. It's D'Artagnan. Or Zorro. It's one of the two. Nah, I'm just Egg. A little hungover, but that's okay. Oh, man. Oh, that coffee is just... It's hitting the spot today. It's about 4 times the cost. Nena, a level, yeah, it's somewhere around there, 3.8, 4 times, and I actually think that that's too high too, if they want mass adaptation. I always say adaptation. If they want mass adaptation, I think that we're going to see the cost of the Datacron itself go to 7,500. And we're going to see the cost of the materials go down to about 3 times. And I think that that's the sweet spot where those should stay. I did hear that SIDS is back. I would love to get it. I'm hoping that I get it. Right now, I only had one Datacron going in today. I only had one Datacron going in today, so we'll see what we get and what we can kind of farm out. You know what the thing is with missing the mark? I think, again, I think it becomes a business decision, right? Where, let's go back to my lemonade stand analogy, okay? And I start selling lemonade for $1. And the first week I sell lemonade for $1 and 1 million people are buying it. Like everybody's coming into town to buy it. And then I realize that the demand is so high, so I raise it to $5. And now all these people start coming to my lemonade stand and they're like, what the fuck? Why is your lemonade 5 times the price that it used to be? Whereas if I started it at $5, you know, less people would come and get the lemonade, but nobody would be pissed off at me for raising my prices. And I could make the decision to lower the price to like $3, whatever the sweet spot is for the market. And the TLDR on that is essentially, I think that CG aims high so that they can look like the good guy when they lower it and listen to us. And I think it's a much smarter decision than aiming low and raising things, because we, as players of this game, we are not known for our rational thoughts. We often have problems where we flip the fuck out. I'm just going to throw these guys in and see what happens. Tank. people who are extremely low, yeah, we're also rational. Athe, that's a great question. I actually have a very specific strategy that I use when it comes to farming things like Hunter right now. Because I know I don't need Hunter for at least another 2 to 3 months, right? Because Crosshair and Wrecker are still not even farmable. What I do when I wake up is I do my dailies, and I do 3x refreshes on my Cantina doing all signal data. Right? So 100% signal data for the morning. And then when I get my midday energy refresh at like 2 p.m., I'll have 90 to 100 energy. And I will use that energy on the thing I'm farming. So right now, I do about 9 to 10 battles on Hunter a day at my midday. And if I get to a point where I need to speed that up and I go, oh crap, I have Wrecker and Crosshair farmed, then I can always speed the farm up more quickly, but I generally don't need to do that. And it's just a psychological trick that I use to make my life a little bit easier, because I feel terrible when I cut myself off completely from signal data. Okay, well. They might do a double Cantina. Usually it's either the first one or the last one is Cantina. So it was kind of interesting that Hunter was the Cantina one. Soper, I did the same thing recently. I brought Baby Cal to R7. It really helped me out in TB, and I do use Baby Cal in my Seer team. Not everything is about, efficiency. I know I'm the efficiency guy, but sometimes you just gotta bite the bullet and do something kind of fun for you. Oh, man. And this team does not do things as fast as I'd like them to. Without Amplify Agni. Still need someone in DS. What do you mean? Oh, in energy, right? Yeah. In DS energy, or battles. Well, if they do 2 hard node farms. Who should I go to do this faster? Definitely not Spectre. They're slow as shit. Sith Empire. Okay, let's do that. We've got one. And the clones are coming a lot faster than I thought they would. I know that they screwed up the drop rate stuff, so that kind of, or like the double refresh thing, so that kind of sped things up even more. What I'm getting worried about is my Zetas. Phil and I were actually talking about this yesterday, and I think he has something planned he wants to talk about in that regard, but I'm getting lower and lower and lower on Zeta materials, with the last 2 marquees both having 2 Zetas. And now, like, I have 100 material left, which I know is like rich man problems for anyone who buys Lightspeed bundles. But I have 100 material left, and I have Jocasta New coming out in a week, and I have 2 more clone marquees to worry about. Like, I'm starting to feel a reduction that I personally haven't felt in years. I don't know what the hell is with all of these double Zetas. I thought their double Zetas were reserved for, like, their large marquees, epic marquees. But apparently not. Apparently everything's just 2 fucking Zetas now. I know when you say deleted, you mean like down to 0, but I feel deleted being at 100. I don't feel like a rich person anymore. I like on my high horse. I'm now thinking like, oh, I have to like think about the zetas that I apply. Man, I need a faster team for this. Well, I think with the episode pass as a veteran, my Zetas would be okay. But if you're in the mid to mid-late game and you're still applying Zetas, like, to old stuff, then yeah. I need something faster than this. We don't want to wet... No, let's do Leia. Maybe Leia will be fast. No, let's go more battle-y. That's nice. I only bought 2 carbonate circuit board 500 crystal packs this time. I didn't buy anything else. I am low on relic materials for other relic materials, but I have, now that this wave war is over, I have literally nothing left that I need to relic until my Bad Batch start to become 7 stars. So I'm not too worried about other things right now. I just want to make sure I have thousands and thousands of carbonite circuit boards for all the projects that are coming up. A little off topic. On my last GL, would you finish the Quadme team or Malicos? I think it depends on what you need more for GAC, because, and I hate like talking about GAC in that same way because it's not really my specialty, but you know, that's the game mode where you're really building either one of those teams for. Taron Malicos' team is incredibly expensive with all of the Omicrons, but it's a solid team that pretty consistently beats Rey, and Rey sucks to fight. Quadme is more of a very consistent, you know, defensive team that it's just a staple of defense. Balin, I think, is low priority now that we're not getting Peridia, now that we know what we're getting. Balin was more of the safe bet, easy team for Peridia. If we were going to get something there, I don't think he's a very high priority for people right now that we know that that's not happening. Mace, it depends on how much money you're spending, and I'm assuming you're not spending that much. I'm mostly ignoring Mace Windu, and I'll get him on 2nd or 3rd run, but with the volume of other things going down, I don't have the crystals to spend to get 6 marquees ready that quickly. So I don't, you know, I just don't see a value in the team like Mace's, unless you're willing to put in money, like a decent amount of money. Let's see. All of the CC Zimbit are worth it, the 500 crystal packs. All of the crystal packs are worth it, except for chromium transistors and Orodium heat sinks. Those are the only 2 that I would never purchase ever. I will purchase anything else from the 500 crystal packs. I don't often need to purchase the Zimbiddle one. That's one that usually I have the Zimbiddles I need by that time. But it's definitely worth it if you need it. Hey, Vance. Vance, I set up your 3rd sister this morning. Her mods are not amazing because your mod depth is not amazing. but she has a workable mod set now. But your ass needs more credits because you only have like 8 million, and that's not going to work for modding over the next couple of weeks. Yeah, Balin. I like my Balin. I don't think he's worthless, but I do like Afra. He just becomes someone who's not as necessary as other journeys. He does kind of negate JMK on defense. For anyone who scouts before their battles, they might see no Balin in your squad and say, oh, I can put JMK on defense now. So that's something to be careful of. But he's kind of low priority now that we don't have any type of raid thing that's going to be associated with him as far as we know. Will they get nodes in TB? Maybe eventually. I'm kind of surprised that we haven't gotten a node. I'm kind of surprised we didn't get a new planet. But I also think that CG is struggling with the idea of days where some guilds might have, like right now, guilds, when you have 5 planets open, it sucks. It is the worst feeling in the world. And I think that they're nervous to put us in a position to have that same thing happen with having multi-days of 5 planets in a row. So I think they're kind of being careful about that. Relic level to make my Marauder good. The problem is the Marauder came out. Marauder came out after I already had Bad Batch and Lord Vader, so my Marauder's always been good. I would say, if you need your Marauder, you probably want to bring these guys at least to G12. Raid was going. I still firmly believe the raid was supposed to be Peridia, and I very firmly believe that something happened, something screwed up. They needed to scratch the raid. They had to start from the beginning. I'm willing to bet they had already started building the raid before Naboo was even released, like towards the end or like in the beginning of Naboo's release. They were starting it. And they saw the reception to Naboo, and I'm like, I think that they had to delay things. Because they have given us over a year, or about exactly a year, rather. And that is a lot of time for a raid when there have been normally like 7 months. And we saw, right, that they wanted to do a Bad Batch thing, and they said, hey, it just didn't work out. So that's my... Oh, nice. I don't know if that's a good level 6 or not, but I will be happy if I just get Sidious here. Oh, well, I can't do it because I don't have any relic materials. Somebody quits their job at Dairy Queen, a deserter. Oh, HodHod. Oh, HodHod. HodHod. All right, let's see what's going on. I just try to stay on top of everything. I would like, my old Omega is still at G12. I will eventually get her there, though. A lot of people felt the same way as you, Soper, and I don't know. I'm like on the opposite camp when it comes to Jocasta Nu. I just love weird characters. I'm not like a Jocasta Nu fanboy. I've never read the comics that she like blew shit up with her stupid like lightsaber rifle. I just think it's an insane character to bring to the game, and anytime they do something like that, I enjoy that. I don't need another Luke. I don't need another Han. I don't care. To me, it was going to be it's going to be more interesting when they put characters like that in the game. M3. Good morning, man. I took my pill. I promise. Let's just check in on this before we do the other stuff that we need to do today. Okay. I can go to 400. Everybody's always messing up platoons, and it's starting to piss me off. This is getting there. How are we doing here? We've got 277 left. Okay. I am going to run a bot update. Egnards trying to figure out the list. Yeah, the Axe Wolves. I know everybody wants them. I don't know. I don't see this, like, it's very rare for me to like get excited, like super excited about a character. For me, it's just more like, okay, cool, something new is coming. TB deployments. Notify true. Pop that in. See, it's interesting when we talk about things like variety, because you're not the first person who said that, Soper. And to me, I'm like, oh, clones, they all look the same. Cool. Oh my God, they really, 3 months is not enough to understand a TB officer's job. TB off, like, I have guys, yesterday, there was a guy, it's Wombat. Fuck you, Wombat. Stupid Phatphil piece of shit. He's in my guild, and every phase, like clockwork, he starts his combats at like 12:20. And I'm like, dude, just deploy, because I don't want to sit here and babysit this shit for the next 45 minutes. Let me go enjoy my day. Like, stop. If you have to get your stuff done in the last hour because that's the only time that you have available to you, that's fine. I get that. Just let me know. But, like, come on, guys. Stop. Get your shit done. Make my life as easy as possible. Make your TB officers, I'm begging you, please, as a TB officer, if you are the person in your guild who constantly needs to be reminded, if you are the person in your guild who takes 12 hours to get your platoon unit in, if you are the person in your guild that is getting tagged until 10 minutes before phase change, and then you message on Discord and you go, oh shit, got pulled into a meeting, which would mean something if it wasn't a 24-hour phase and it didn't happen every phase. If that is you, just stop. Like, it is so stressful. It is so beyond stressful on a Sunday morning to be sitting there and having to look at your phone and just checking Discord constantly. And it's that same fucking person who, once you hit a star goal, goes, oh, when's our next star goal? Like, stop. Just fucking, you're gonna make me insane. That's, Ani, that's literally, those are my messages, man. My messages are like, hey, it's a holiday weekend. Just get your shit done so we can all enjoy the weekend and not have to deal with it. So we can all enjoy Easter. I hate the raid, too. People are like, oh, sorry, it's Easter. We don't have the raid today. But, like, you had 3 other days. You knew Easter was coming. It's there every year. Just do something, please. I'm like that meme with the stick. Make your TB officer's life better. In fact, I know you guys, some of you like subscribe, you send me a beer every once in a while. Do me a favor, it's Easter. Go into game, go to the gifts, and send like a $5 pack to your TB officer. That's it. Just, hey, thanks. I know it's a ton of hard work. Happy Easter. One little $5 pack. Go send it to your TB officer. Be like, hey, Egnards says that it is tough to be a TB officer, and I just want to say thank you to you for literally all of the hours that you put in, because it is so many hours. Like, it's so... And then, oh, when mistakes... We have 2 platoon mistakes happening right now where 2 people, they used their platoon character, but it's one of those characters that only one person has. That's 70 million GP right there. Guys, come on. Like, make my life easier. Well, if you're thinking of moving, I would. If you have that many people in your guild doing that. But otherwise, go buy your TB officer a $5 pack and say thank you. I promise you they will appreciate it. It is very rare that it happens, but like once or twice a year, someone in my guild will hit me up with like a $10, $5 pack or a $10 pack and a nice Discord message. And I'm like, oh man, thanks. Okay. Anyway, we have reviews to do. We have a lot of reviews to do because I couldn't do TB today. HodHod, you assume that my hands have 5 fingers. And that would be a correct assumption. I'm going to take a very, very, very quick break. Super quick, literally 2 minutes. And then we'll get into our reviews for the day. And we'll get you guys going into your Easter weekend. If you have multiple TB officers, listen, you want to send all of your TB officers a $5 pack? Awesome. Maybe send one to one of your TB officers today and then another to somebody else next month. I don't know. All right, but I'll be back literally 2 minutes. Okay, we are back. Let's set up our sources, because I did not do that this morning. I'm not good at this. Or I don't care enough. I don't know. It's one of those two things. That works, yep. And let's see. Okay, that works. All right, let's see what we got going up here. We're going to lower the game down. We are going to cheap viewers deny. We are going to head to Discord. Yeah, give me a sec. All right, I actually have to take one more quick unscheduled break. Because I have a guild member who is going on vacation. And, well, he's going on vacation for 2 weeks, and I'm going to kind of babysit his account. So I need to set up the EA account 2-factor stuff, and I can't do that on stream. So I apologize, but I got to get this done. Otherwise, I'm screwed out of an entire person. So I will be right back. Apologize again because I don't know. I apologize too often. So give me just a second. Okay, well, he messaged me and was like, hey, can we do this right now? And I said, yeah, of course we can do this right now. And he, there we go. And he is not around, so we'll leave that there, and we will go on from there. Where is reviews. Okay. Hey, Allie, happy Easter. You'll find out later. No, I won't tell you ahead of time. I have Cunctator here, who's on our premium, because Cunctator is our favorite Israeli friend who spends lots of money on this game and isn't going to listen to any of the advice that I give him. But we will humor him. Top 20 of your fleet arena, Leviathans, Executors, P1. Rebel, how are we only doing CT2 in military might? I have no idea. Even Vanced's account has higher than CT2. So you should be ashamed of that. Secrets and Shadows 2, that's normal. Duel of the Fates, G12, that's ridiculous to me. Prettier Patrol, R7, that, I mean, I think R9 is what makes sense, but whatever. What are you currently thinking? I think Bowman. Who the fuck is Bowman? Bo-Katan? I don't think Bo-Katan. I don't know if it's something I should be doing right now. Are you dead set on continuing? Not at all. How highly do you value efficiency versus fun farms? 50-50. Are there any favorite characters you want to prioritize, even though you know it's probably not smart? Not right now. Okay. Shards for any important proving ground characters. I don't know what's important for you. Fury is 2 PGs away, so we don't have a Leviathan from 7. I think that's the only one of the older ones that have any importance, and I'm nowhere near any of the new ones, so don't count on them. LOL. Do you want me to hold off? No. Okay. All right. Let's see. Let's see Kunk's account. What are we? 9 million? Where is this? There it is. 9.5 million. He's in the Australian Commandos. That makes sense. It's probably similar time zone. We only have Executor. Now, I know because of Kunk's situation, he probably is not able to right now do his fleet climb as often as some other people might do it. So I'm not going to keep that as in mind, but I do think you have somebody helping you a little bit with the account, right, during this time, so it would make their life easier. CLS. It's just the things you don't have, man. You have Mon Mothma. You have the C-3PO, Han Solo. I don't know if this will work without any Zetas doing military might, but I know, and I just did this on Vanced account with the worst mods in the world. CLS, Chew-PO, C-3PO, Han Solo, wherever the hell he is. If you don't have him, I'm gonna... Do you not? You do, okay. Han Solo and Mon Mothma makes a pretty easy auto of military might, CT3. But again, you don't have the Zetas, so that becomes, you know, the hard part there. It blows my mind that you don't have these guys. Where are they? Like, Padawan, Obi-Wan, and Master Qui-Gon, to me, they are hard, non-negotiable R9s. In fact, as a recruiter, when I look at people's accounts to see if they're worth, you know, asking them to join, I look at like Bo-Katan and Third Sister just to see, and Jedi Knight Cal just to see if they're team players. And at our level, obviously, pretty much everyone's going to have them. And then I look at things like the raid, and I check out like if they're doing a reasonable amount in the raid. And then I look just specifically at these two, because I feel like anyone in the mid-late game that does not already have them at R9 has made an insanely big mistake. Let's see. You're so close. I don't know why you don't. I'm assuming that Jedi Master Luke is part of what you're looking at to do right now and finish up. You're just so close that it kind of is silly that you don't. How close are we to Lord Vader? The Lord Vader stuff that you need is not that you're. I mean, with what you have on Lord Vader, and you for the raid are going to want to get Tarkin to relics anyway, so that's going to bring you closer to Lord Vader. I feel like you're in a position right now. Look at this, Profundity 180 carbonate circuit boards away. I think you're just in a position. Bo-Katan 160. Like, Cunked, you're in a position where you have all of these big projects that you're so close to that it kind of doesn't make sense for me to see so many projects almost done, right? When I take all of these, all four of your projects, so JML, Profundity, Lord Vader, and Bo-Katan, you need less material across all four of those things than most people when I recommend them to get one GL. So when we talk about what you should do, I would just finish these in order, right? I would try to get Profundity as quickly as possible so that you can start just getting free shards of that every month. I would finish up with Jedi Master Luke after that. And then I would probably go, yeah, I mean, Profundity, Jedi Master Luke, Bo-Katan, then Lord Vader. And that should put you in time with the raid and everything, and that'll help you in fleets and everything, and that's going to help you in Conquest and everything. You're just in a position to do all of these big things and finish them up. But I swear, like, the two boys, the lover boys, like, bring them to R9 immediately. It's just, my brain breaks when people don't do that. And I know you're stubborn and you don't often listen to me and you never want to listen to me, but like, that's what I would do with this. Just finish up the shit that you're already so close to. And the order that I gave you would be the order that I would personally do it in. So that has been Kunk's account, which was probably the easiest review that I've ever done in my life. So thank you, Kunked. We got Grogu. Grogu, where is he? We gotta come up here to Grogu's account. And let's get this onto Discord. There we go. What is our time? 58. That was also one of the fastest reviews I've ever had to do. Kunk, do better, man. Okay, Grogu's account. Top 20 of your Fleet Arena, Leviathan, Executor, consistently getting first and second. Are you coordinating? Yes, I'm one of the admins. Awesome. Assault Battles, Paw Patrol, Fanatical Devotion, C23 will be completed. So you have the time, you have the ability to do it. It's just time right now. Secrets and Shadows CT1 is complete. If Secrets and Shadows CT1 is not complete yet, If CT1 is not complete yet, I would highly recommend focusing towards that as a shorter term goal. Going past CT1 is not as big a deal. I'm just going to jump that screen real quick. Okay. I know I'm getting a little bit scattered here, but I just saw my guildmate just messaged me back. So I wanted to make sure that I could look at that. Planning to get the clones up and running for the raid if resources say yes. And also looking at the Jedi and Jedi Windu. No, it is B-A-M-F Mace Windu. That is his name. He has no other name but that. Okay. Check it. All right, give me 1 second. I've sent another one. Move. Did Twitch die? What? Or do you mean like the chat in Twitch? Man, having to do all this stuff throws me off. Okay, Grogu's, blah, 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 blah. Here, back to him. Grogu, I apologize. As I go through all of this stuff, trying to set this up with my guildmate. And checking that this works. Okay. Perfect. Not. Okay, perfect. I'm done. Figured it out. That's all situated. Nice. We're doing what we need to do. And we can go back to the account and actually pay attention to you guys. What are you currently working on? Clones, Glat, Farms of Huyang, and PSW. Marak, I want to auto the Riva mission rather than bring up a 9 sister. Man, he is awesome. I love his Omicron. I'm going to tell you right now. Big fan of it. I actually just took him to R8 2 days ago, and I put him in my Lord Vader squad with 3rd sister right now, and just deletes shit even on Haven. Big fan. Shard Farming Bad Batch season 3. I think they're season 2, but I don't know. I have no idea. Maybe they're season 3. I haven't seen the show past season 1. Are you dead set on continuing? Sort of. Glat is a passion project. Marak is for the guild. Otherwise, I'm flexible. How highly do you value efficiency? Apart from Glat, efficiency is important. Sanity is above efficiency. Wasting relics on Merrick, even if Balin is not a project for a while. Look, man, I get that, right? Like, I'm big on trying to find things that are that save me time, effort, and energy. That's a big important thing for me. So I respect that more than anything else. Any favorite characters? Well, there's Glat and not much else. Attaches some photos of your panic farms. All right, let's take a look at our actual thing right there. Perfect. Okay. 7.3 million. Hey, Astra. Cheers. I'm curious. We're gonna find out right here. Okay, so Oppo we brought to Relic 5. So it looks like you're whaling on these guys. You either got lucky or you're whaling. That's what it comes down to. Because you've said this, I'm gonna presume that you are spending some decent money there. Let's check on how close you are to Glat. Oh, you're close. You're fine. Leviathan's far. Man, Wow, how many fucking GL do we have? Only Jedi Master Kenobi? What the fuck are we doing at 7 million, dude? Okay. Fuck. Let's see. Battle for Naboo. Haven't finished these guys. Again, I said this before to Conquest. I really, you're a little lower in GP than he is, so I don't know if you need to get them to R9 yet. I would. But once Padawan Obi-Wan and Master Qui-Gon become accelerated, which is very, very soon, I would make sure that these guys are done and get them at least bare minimum to R7 as a kind of smaller term priority project more than anything else. You are missing a lot in terms of your efficiency, and I struggle with that because, you're talking about high efficiency, but a lot of the efficiency things we don't really have. Did I click? No, I hit the wrong thing. Night Sisters. You can probably, again, you said you're not sure if you've done CT1 yet, but with Old Daka, Talzin, Merrin, Asajj, and do you have Zombie? You can probably auto CT1 if you haven't done it already. I just did it on Vance's account, and he had like some of the worst mods ever on those guys, and I hit auto and said, hey, let's just see what happens, and we got it in the first try. And he messaged me later, and he's like, what are you, some kind of wizard? So if you're not doing it, I know you said you maybe are doing it, I would really consider putting just a little bit of effort into that, even if it requires just remodding for the event. You're going for the clones. That's a passion project for you. You're obviously going to need Tarkin, which is G13. You're doing about 900,000 in the raid. I mean, realistically, Order of the Grogu followers. Realistically, if you are prioritizing that clone team to R5, you're already going to outperform what your guild needs from you for the raid, right? So you can say, hey, raid is my priority, and just getting that team on its own is going to be enough for you to satiate your guild. The way that I see the Bad Batch team, the new Bad Batch team, is they are really solid as the free-to-play option for the new raid. And that's why I'm personally prioritizing them. But if you're spending resources to the clones, because of where your guild is at, I would just pick one or the other. And you've already prioritized the clones, so go for that. It pains me, like truly pains me, that you don't have Jedi Master Luke or Jabba. Like truly, truly, truly pains me. And I just think that it's such a mistake for someone to be at the part of the game that you're at and not have the mod depth that Jabba the Hutt is going to give a player in your particular space. So I think that what I would do here is you're going to finish Ahsoka, right? That's your passion project. You're obviously going to do the Vader clones for the raid. That doesn't mean you have to go for Vader right away. But you're going for the clones for the raid. Then I would set myself up really nicely. No, not Rey. We don't need Rey. In this little trifecta here, right? Working on these three things as your secondary projects. I would consider doing Profundity in the shorter term because you're not very far away from it. And I have a very strong feeling, because we saw an Executor lifter last year, we're going to see a Profundity lifter this year. And whenever you can start to get free crystals or free stuff towards it, free shards, it's a good thing. But I would work on those 3 things as like your kind of side projects until you get past to the clones, and then I would go strong into Jabba, then Profundity, then Jedi Master Luke. And if you have to pivot because of something new, you can always pivot away and make it your secondary and kind of switch back and forth. But I just think you're making a very, very big mistake by not having put a lot of priority into those back end return on investment things. Just as a reminder early on, Duel of the Fates, try to get those guys to R7 as soon as you can once they become accelerated. I know it sucks to kind of pop off signal data, but if you can do it in 1 month instead of 4 months waiting for those shards, then that would be really, really good. It is a choice, and you know what? We all make our choices. Okay. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. So let's move on from there. I've got my stuff settled with my guildmate, so I'm not as distracted anymore. There we go. Is it better to farm them equally or spike one or the other? If you don't have Quadme, you're unlikely to be using them outside of that. What I would say that you kind of want to do is keep them semi-equal, just because you want them both to be 5 stars, right? Because then you can do the first 2 tiers while you're finishing them otherwise. But if you ever get to a point where one is 7 stars and one is like 5 stars, and you're still farming, and the event comes around, you might be put in a position where half of the shards or all of the shards that you get are going to be wasted. So I would probably level them up equally unless I had a use for them outside of it. Ali, as far as the Wave War, Phil and I decided that we are going to announce the winner in a joint statement. So you have to wait a little longer to find out who won the waves. Okay, let's move on to Csquared, who's probably not here today because it is Easter Sunday, and he is most definitely in church. So let's see what we got. Csquared, and we love Csquared. He does funny things. He helps me out. He does a lot of editing on some of the ideas that I have. So I guess we can help him out as well. First time I did this, it was right before the Naboo raid. Predictions have been made, but the eligible list hasn't been announced yet. Figured this was the perfect time to demand another roster review. Here's the deal. My account is the best there is. Plain and simple. My account wakes up in the morning and pisses excellence. There are political jokes there, and we're going to refrain. Link to .gg, top 20, one every day, fleet communication, yes. We are doing, I love when people kind of get the idea of just, hey, just so you know, these are done. Secrets and Shadows CT2, but Paw Patrol is at R7. What are you currently working on? Roll requests for ops, things within reach, Balin, Afra, Gas, LV, but most important is staying flexible for raid news. Dead set on a path. Q changing my mind to meme efficiency versus fun. I've drank the Kool-Aid. Give me that ROI. Not until I get new original trilogy. You are such a simp for the fucking original trilogy, you piece of shit. Let's see. Star Wars Galaxy Hero. This guy has jumped 11 million. I don't remember what it was when I first did a roster review, but I do remember that then the entire guild just like lemmings started hopping into my chats and requesting reviews, and everybody in Fortuna Favors the Bold sucked at mods and nobody had Gungans, and now I think all is right in the world. Let's see. Gear tracker. Let's check this out. We have done a lot this year. Damn. Nice, man. Okay, Afra makes sense because you have them all at relics from the bundle, so you might as well do it. She's very low priority. She doesn't have like this cool back end that a lot of other characters have, but I'm assuming you did buy the bundle, and if you bought it, then having all these guys that are 5, great. You might as well invest in the team. Especially while you're in a little bit of a holding pattern. You didn't get Jar Jar because you're a piece of shit. Ahsoka, no Balin yet. Okay. So the projects we have right now are Afra, Vader, Jar Jar, Bo-Katan. You don't have Bo-Katan yet? Ahsoka, Balin. How are we on Ahsoka? Okay, alright. Balin is also in the same kind of vein that that Afra is in. I'm glad I have him, but I could do without him. He is a little bit more on the luxury end. I would definitely finish Afra because you already have her pretty much done. Keep in mind, you probably have about 3 months for Balin, so you have enough time, especially with Shinhati. Slow farm that. I think, let's just check guild. How did we do on this raid? 80 million. So you're going to want to be able to put up numbers of like 2 to 3 million in this next raid. You're doing 4 here. Okay. Let's see. Drank the Kool-Aid, give me that ROI. You don't have to worry about the secrets and shadows at CT3. That's not really a big deal. Again, I say this to everybody. You've heard me say this. You tell me you drink the Kool-Aid, but clearly you only drank half of a cup, and you're going to just get a tummy ache while the rest of us, die. You're at a level where I would very strongly consider that Paw Patrol to R9. And look, it takes some time to build an ROI there, but that's the whole point, is you have to get on that early. If you're working on raid stuff, I would consider bringing Lord Vader to the forefront of your planning, because you'll have an excuse to go for gas. You'll have an excuse to get these two, and you'll have a really, really nice team with your gas team and Arc and Echo and the whole 501st. But I have a feeling I don't think you're going to wail on clones. I do think you're going to farm them. Right? Yeah, and it's going to be faster because of era battles. How are we doing Bad Batch at all? You've got great flavored. All right, so haven't really done much with the Bad Batch. Again, you've heard me have this conversation. I think that for someone who's not spending a lot of money towards the raid, Bad Batch is the smart investment, because it's going to take a lot of time to get the clones up and running. When it comes to other things that can be involved in the raid, I don't like speculating, but we have had this conversation before. I am strongly contending that there is a pretty good chance that this will in some capacity be used, the Inquisitors. I do think that there'll be a Jedi Vanguard B team. I don't know who will be used there, but I believe it is Imagundi and maybe it's Ithka. Amagundi and Barriss are the two that are not used currently right now. Some people have said the other clones. I don't really think that that's likely at all. But I think that you're in a position where it's time to really start thinking about those new things and making a monetary choice of, do you want to help your guild at a low cost, then start to really put your effort towards the Bad Batch, the new Bad Batch. Are you planning on expending a fairly large amount of crystals, then spend your effort towards the clones. I think both are going to be the better teams for the majority of us, because like with the Jar Jar team and Mace Windu, you're not going to get the full effect of not having Mace Windu, and it's going to be a little more of a struggle for us, and that's just going to be the most expensive team to build because you need all 6 of those marquees. So it's something that I'm personally largely ignoring right now. But again, Afra, great, you're already there. Stop being a piece of shit and get your Paw Patrol to Relic 9, please. And then I think I would put a secondary priority. So you do have Bo, right? Yeah. I would put a secondary priority towards Lord Vader, because when you have the clones, that's going to be your beast of a team. Otherwise, I really wouldn't do too much outside of what you're building for raid prep, because we're going to start seeing in the next, I'd say the next month to a month and a half, we're going to start getting that information, and you're going to want to start building towards older teams to make sure that you have what you need. So hopefully that helps, Christian, but I can't give you too much more than that. Didn't you know, blah, blah, blah. Was I victorious, Caleb? You'll find out, man. I was very surprised with this wave war. I was super surprised that going into day 6 that we tied. I was 3 waves up from him, and I was super pumped for that. I was like, this is going to be great. This is going to be easy. And he caught up to me. So you guys will find out what happens, and we will announce that together, possibly tonight, depending, with the holiday and everything, and he's got family stuff, I've got family stuff. So we'll see. And let's move to the next one. Moving to Discord. And Commander Lex. Ani, have a great day. Happy Easter. I am actually surprised by how many people are here right now, all things considered. Especially because I know a lot of you do have kids. What are you doing here with me? Okay, Commander Lex, 122. It's been a while, and my account has drastically changed since I last did this. I have Jabba now. I have Leviathan requirements done, working on Profundity, and I think the Leviathan event was today. Working on Profundity for next month since I bought the Lightspeed bundle. Wondering if I should finish Gas, Marin, and Zori, or if I should do that after Leia. 10-6 requirements done, and then after those teams, what my priority be. I did do Luthen and have every proving grounds until unlocked. After some team cleanups and Leia, what should I go for next? Is there a good Conquest team I should build? Also, currently side farming shards for new Bad Batch for next raid, and after that we'll be doing the same for the Dark Side clones. Also, mods are a work in progress and need a lot of work. I've been doing them wrong for years, so having to remod one character at a time from the ground up. Just keep in mind with that, something cool is that when you get to a point where you're working on some of your top teams, one new mod on like Lord Vader could be 5 new mods across your entire roster, right? So if you find a really good mod and put it on someone, now take the replacement mod and go down your roster and put it on the next best thing, and just keep downlining those mods. And that's the way that I do it. And then that means that 1 improvement becomes 5 improvements, right? Or 10 improvements. But it's a work of time, and you have Jabba now, and that's not going to be an instant fix, but it's going to make your life easier. Top 20, all Leviathans. I get number 1 daily with my Executor, but should have a 7-star Leviathan unlock on the 20th. Well, it's the 20th, and I hope that you see this before you do that. All I would say is, if you are able to get first every day, maybe consider only doing a couple refreshes a month of Leviathan to spread it out and save crystals. However, I know the effort level of doing that with Executor and Profundity is a lot higher than the semi-auto of Leviathan. So if it becomes a quality of life issue, then that's a whole different thing, and I get it. Most of these are up. Fanatical Devotion, Secrets and Shadows, Duel of the Fates, Tier 6, Paw Patrol, none. Alright. Hey, if you're getting paid to be here, all the more. That's great then. Alright. Louis Yavok. 10 million. He's doing it with his Executor collection. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know, Ali, I like how you play both sides of the field, because all you do is shit on me, and then around Phil, you just shit on him and talk nicely about me. Let's see. Don't think I wasn't paying attention. Profundity, I mean, listen, man, I'm gonna tell you, I would do this immediately, getting this Profundity. And again, while you might spend your crystals on Leviathan, just let that Profundity sit and get your free shards every single month, because something is coming and it'll save you. Right? So that should be, once Leviathan is out, Profundity should be top priority, just so that you can, you know, start benefit from getting those shards. Leia, we're a little bit off from. Gas Marin. Let's check this stuff out. Gas Marin. Where is our Night Sisters? Our Night Sisters. We are doing Secrets and Shadows. As long as Secrets and Shadows are CT1, I love Night Sisters as a value team. They're one of my favorite teams. I talk about them often. But to me, they're not a high priority team if you have a lot of other things going on, especially if you already have CT1 of the event. Again, I say this to everybody, you know, everyone on today has heard me say it a ton of times today. Padawan Obi-Wan, Master Qui-Gon, they are non-negotiable R9s at this point. You shouldn't be even talking about doing anything less than R9 for them. Especially 10 million plus, like it is a firm, like that should be done. I've said, like, CG has signaled so hard how much more R9 is going to be important for people, and I just really think it's a huge mistake not to bring those two up. You know, Paw Patrol is more up in the air. I do hate that you don't have them at all, though. You know, anytime you have an ROI event, you should really prioritize that ROI event. It's my personal belief. You have them at 5-star. Hopefully you're doing both tiers at the very least. I would try to work these guys in. These are, again, I talk about them as R9s. R7, I think, is the agreed upon sweet spot that a lot of people say. And I would try to work these in as a secondary farm. You know, 5 battles a day, slow farming it. Try to speed it up by a month or two from what you're going to be getting just from getting the free shards. Gas Marin, not a high priority. Zori, you have Rey. I like Zori a lot. I would bring her at least to G12 if you can make a case for at least R1, so that you can at least use some sort of datacron with that team. I would definitely do that as a short-term thing. Leia seems to be like a passion project, right? Like that's your thing. Let's see, where is she? Raid history about 3 million. Oh, let me see. The new batch. Allie, I know. I'm fucking with you. Hate is my love language. Okay. It looks like we're maybe 1x farming these guys, right? 10 battles a day, possibly, it seems. Like I said, if you're not going to, I say this to everybody, if you're not going to put a lot of money into the raid, the Bad Batch is the team of choice that you should really strongly be considering. So definitely go down that route. Put your priority towards shard farming those guys. Let's check out this Leia farm. She's not terribly far away, but you don't have any shard farming left for her. It's really just gear and relics, so that's not that's not like the worst thing in the world. I think that after Leia, so Loverboy should be R9. Peridia Patrol, I'd try to slow farm as best as possible. Bad Batch is your priority shard farm right now. Leia is your priority like gear farm right now. And after that, I'd really like, it's all raid. It's all raid all the time right now. We are in that position where we need to like think about that stuff, and you need to have gearing and you need to have relic material to be able to jump on those things as they come up. So I think I wouldn't worry about gas right now. I wouldn't worry about Merrin right now. Zori, bring her up even just to G12, and you can relic her if there's a great Datacron. But it makes a solid as hell B team for those Ray requirements. 7-star Leviathan unlock, like I said before. If it's a quality of life issue, with them, then go to 7 stars. If it is not a quality of life issue, then I would recommend only doing a few refreshes a month and trying to do it slow. And also your profundity, get that done as soon as possible. You're just so close to it that start getting those free shards. How is a new Bad Batch? How the new Bad Batch, which is 5 marquees, is better than the Mace requirement, which will lead to 2 teams for only 6 marquees? That's a great question, Quentin, and I kind of answered this a few times. Basically, the new Bad Batch is already starting to be farmable, so you can do them at a very reasonable cost. Whereas Mace Windu's team is going to require you to get 6 marquees, and I don't have the crystals for that. I realistically will be able to get to the clones pretty close to on raid time, right? I might have to spend 20,000 crystals over the lifetime of shipment farming, and that's fine. I'll do it if I have to. But there is no way that you are getting Mace Windu without 7-starring immediately the last 2 Jedi Vanguards and possibly the last 2 clones. And that's about 80,000 crystals just there. So for most people, you're gonna miss the first event no matter what. And if you're gonna miss the first event no matter what, you need to focus on the other things that are available. I would love to have Mace Windu. I just know that it's not a feasible option for a lot of players. It's not reasonable to expect a lot of players to have that type of resource. I do know people going for it. I do know people spending a lot of resources towards it. They're welcome to do that. That is probably going to be the premier best / Gungans team for this raid that'll be autoable or whatever. But you also have to think of your resource acquisition and getting high scores early on, right? Not high scores 6 months after the raid releases. So that's, my take on raid, and I've done videos and Reddit posts and different things on that. We're going to keep going, but I'm going to step away just to grab some water before we continue. So I will be right back. Here I am. Thank you, Astra. I wasn't saying anything important. I was just making fun of HodHod, who has not said anything in a while as we get to his account. So I'm going to assume that he's here, but maybe not. We'll see what happens. Shouldn't be muted anymore. I think now it's just a time thing. Remember, I am not a professional. I don't do things in a smart way. Oh my goodness. Last time I reviewed this account was 11, 12, about 6 months ago. It does. It depends on a lot of things, David. If you're talking about what I think you're talking about, whether or not you should go for Mace Windu really depends. Really depends on how much resources you're spending more than anything else. It's a quick poop. Relic 9 is expensive, but I'm gonna be honest with you. I know like some people are in a problem area with Relic 9 because I'm not Relic 9ing things super often, and because I invested in the ROI of Peridia Patrol and Duel of the Fates. So far, I haven't, anytime I've needed to R9 something, I have the R9 materials for it. It's the signal data that I feel that I am limited by, not the Relic 9 materials. And that's because I built a consistent return from the stuff that I already have. So let's get into HodHod's account. Well, we're going to change this timestamp to 1:37. I think top 50 are now executors, 2 people of Leviathans, but still in contact with like the top 15. So I'm hoping that you do pretty decently. BH to CT2, Forest Moon, Palp Vader, Palp to CT3, Military Might, Ground War, Series of Shadow, Duel of Fate, Tier 1. That kills me. Paw Patrol, Tier 1. I think I'm 2-ish months away from Jabba, if I'm lucky. My thought process was to go for Leo right after, then go into Leviathan. I'll have Malgus in like 4 months and his ship in 3. Cat will be unlocked this upcoming PG and Swolo the next PG. It seems like... Oh, okay. Hey, HodHod. It seems like you have a pretty good plan here. Let's just check it out. Let's check out the plan. 7 million. We are hitting first. Okay, so nice. We do want to like stem it up with Leviathan, but we are hitting first. We are where we need to be. JML, Kylo Ren, raid history, doing about 700,000. Your guild raids, doing about 30 million. So you really only need 500,000 to 1 million in raid score in order to do what your guild needs you to do. So you don't really have to focus on the raid too terribly much. And I wouldn't even put too much priority towards the new things until we know what the old things are. Let's see. JML, Supreme Leader Kylo, Tools, Gear Tracker. Okay, Leviathan, you said you're gonna have Malgus soon. How close are we on this Jabba? Jabba is very close. That is 100% your priority. Where is Leia on this? Do we have profundity? No, we don't have profundity. Where is Leia? There's Leia. Okay, Leia's not too bad. I don't know, Ali. I've never had that happen to me. No Bo-Katan. We do have Jedi Knight Cal. JML. Rey, you're so far from... Swallow is not going to do you much good without Rey. So I wouldn't really invest in him because you are so far from Rey right now. And I just don't think that she's a priority unless a Lightspeed bundle comes out. Rebel Roundup will be CT3 once you have... once you have Jabba. Help Vader team to CT1. Okay. Duel of the Fate. I really hate that these guys are not even 5-star, Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan. What I was telling people more in the early mid-game and mid-game was at least get them to 5-star so you can get free shards from both levels of the event. But once these guys become doubled in about half a month to a month, I would really put priority to getting them. And you're early enough in the game where I don't think relic 9ing them is necessary, but I would definitely bring them to relic 7. It's just such a strong ROI event it's like a mini Jabba because it has a mod tier. It has multiple relic tiers, tons of credits, which is very helpful for building mod depth a little bit faster. So once they're doubled, I would really pause everything and trying to bring them at least to relic 7, right? Your lover boys. Super, super, super important. Kind of similar here, but I would just try to, in the short term, get Night Trooper, Death Trooper, and Captain Enoch to 5 stars. Again, just so that you can benefit from more free shards a month. It is an ROI event that you're going to eventually want, and the less that you have to do the actual farming, the better. So I would really try to slow farm these 3 guys just to 5 stars. And then let the event run its course from there until they get close to double drop farmable. Again, I don't think you need to put too much raid priority into the game right now. Not until we know what the old teams are, because you need a score of like 500,000 to 1 million total, and that's not really. I don't think that that's going to be hard to do, even with old teams. Oppo 3 stars, yeah. You're going to be relying on old stuff there. So I think that your idea, after kind of bringing up those smaller things that I pointed out, Jabba is so very important. Leia would be a really great next thing to go for after Jabba. And yes, once you have Malgus, or if Leia, if you get her done early or whatever it is, definitely go for Leviathan, because I don't think that your Executor is going to hold up as well as it was over this last year, as people start to get new things, as a Profundity Lifter presumably comes out, as a new Fleet Meta presumably comes out. With Leviathan on the table, I would go for it. Again, Ben Swallow is useless to you right now. Kat, she's not useless, but you don't really have an amazing position to put her in yet right now anyway. So I don't even know if I would prioritize gearing her just yet. But otherwise, that's the plan that I would kind of follow. And any pivot that you make is going to be based off of what we find out about the raid and old characters versus new characters. I know that you're only semi here, but I'll give you a minute or two if you have any questions other than that, while I smooth jazz out some pizza and porn. Ba-da-da-da-da, ba-da-da-da, da-da. Ba da 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 da. Lady dee dee ba ba. Ba da 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 ba da 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 dee dee beep beep beep. And if you don't have any questions, we'll move on. I feel like it's nice that as people watch more and more of my stuff, they just kind of know what I'm gonna say, so they give me these reviews to do, and I go, oh yeah, that sounds great. That sounds good. Play my stupid DC game while I wait to see if you have anything for me. Because I am addicted to mobile games. So. Favorite pizza topping? Man, listen. Oh, dude, hold on. Favorite pizza topping. Hear me out here. Hold on. Okay. My wife and I make this great pizza. We buy the dough, we roll it out and everything. And we get chipotle peppers. You know, the kind that you buy in the sauce at the store. It's like $3, probably like $10 now. It's like $3. And you blend that up. And you make a spicy red sauce with the chipotle peppers. And you do the spicy red sauce as obviously as the sauce layer. You do pineapple, which I know people are like very decisive about pineapple on pizza, but it's only because the only time they've seen pineapple on pizza is Hawaiian pizza, and Hawaiian pizza is not that good. It uses ham, and ham is such a low quality meat that it just doesn't work well on a pizza personally. Tastes great otherwise. Pineapple on a sweet versus heat, it's beautiful for this pie. And then you get some prosciutto, and you put a little prosciutto on there, and you cook that. For sauce, or for cheese, we'll do a mozzarella on top a little bit. And if we're feeling like we want to spend an extra $8, we'll do like a pecorino, something a little bit sharper. You throw that in. You take that out. And if you're feeling a little bit extra spicy, you throw some arugula on there. Just as something like fresh on top. And it is a bomb fucking pizza. Like, it is a good pizza. Hawaiian pizza, pineapple is amazing on pizza, but Hawaiian's just not my vibe. The ham has too much fat in it, so when you cook it, it makes the pizza just so greasy and wet. Mountain Goat, I'll try to find it. It's in a recipe book that we have. If you message me on Discord to remind me, I'll look through and find the recipe for you and take a picture. It's fucking baller. It is a great pie. I'm assuming HodHod has no other questions, so we'll move on from there. But if you message me on Discord, if I have time later today, I will look and I will try and find it. Okay. So we're going to move on from here. We got one more for today. We will go there. Let's see what my... Hey, we're trying to... Okay. All right, let's see. We have, I don't actually know your name because, nope, that's not you. Wrong person. Knights that say knee. I saw him here before, but he might not be here anymore because I know it's Easter. Let's go let's say 150, right? Was free to play until the OG Lightspeed bundles came out. RIP. until the OG lights, but I got those and some others along the way. Most recent was Cup. Look, I am pro Cup bundle, super pro Cup bundle. Co-managing the fleet shards, so getting somewhere in the top 10. Tricky to get the top ones. Got a brand new 4-star Leviathan. There are a series of 7-star ones. I've actually heard I think Ani was saying this on Discord, that if you get Leviathan to level 6, to 6 stars, you'll get to basically just about where you need to be with the scythe counter to be able to hit first. So I would look into that. I know Leviathan, a lot of its power is locked behind 7 stars, which kind of sucks. And if you're hitting in the top 10, there might not be enough ROI to go directly to 7 right away. But if you can get to 6, that's 10,000 credits you're not spending. So I would look into that counter to see if that makes it worth it. Everything's CT3 sim except Secrets and Shadows is CT2. Great. Secrets and Shadows CT2. I can't say the word today. Secrets and Shadows CT2 is fine. You don't have to go further than that, honestly. We'll look at your Night Sisters to see, but Fanatic Devotion, CT2. You can do CT3 with GI, but it's a pain in the ass. So I really would wait for Riva. Duel of the Fates, CT2. I don't know what people say CT2 on that, and I don't. Oh, there we go. POW and MQJ are still R7. Okay. Peridia, second regular tier. They're not even 7-star yet. Again, for a lot of people, I think at least getting this to 5 stars is a really smart choice. It depends on your GP, though, and where we're at, and we'll take a look. Night Trooper. Oh, they're all very close. Okay. Currently red boxing Conquest without any expenditure other than the 3x50 crystal refreshes. Open to anything in game. I have no current goals set in stone. As a former officer, did some tunes solely for operations like Ewoks. I've got them. I have an R9 Wicket, man, and I'm open to doing more. Night Sister Zombie is the next in the new guild as we are prepping more planets. I did old Daka to R9 for my guild, and it sucks that I can't use her in day 6 anymore, but we do what we gotta do. Fun is the main factor, and auto is the driver at the wheel. Time is a scarce resource. Look, brother, this is what I do. We talk about this a lot. GAC Omicrons, they are big for resource acquisition. Territory battles Omicrons, they are big for time saving. I think this TB, as of phase 5, because I'm not giving away my wave count, I was at 124 waves in phase 5, and I think 104 of those were on auto, and that saves a ton of time. Just got Mando Bow, placed her Zetas, but still need to mod her as I do with several Conquest characters. Currently I have 64 Zeta materials. That becomes tough. 200 Ami. Oh shit, damn, man. Needing help picking out what goes where. Goth Ray is 300 shards. Just Jocasta New Metal is at 200 shards. Gas is 280. Kairos are still a gate, but they're becoming more manageable. Relic mats are the true gate. Guild has Mandalore open, and the GL just sent a message to give us a guild's head up to become Zephyr ready. Already had my Jedi Knight Calcestis and Seer before joining, although I don't clear the Braca SM all the time. Okay, a lot to unpack there. It's nice that you already have Jedi Knight Calcestis because we don't have to worry about him now, right? Let's head over to the game. This is your account, KN, 10.7 million. Okay, so hitting 2 with that, that's nice. Who is that? To those joining us now, welcome. It's crazy. So many people here this morning. It's a fucking holiday. Go do something better. Something more important than hanging out with me. Jabba Ray, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 6. What is our raid history? About 4 million. So we're going to want to put a little bit of priority towards this raid, presumably, right? Raids, 151 million. So we're going to want to hit somewhere around 3 million at least to keep our averages. I've said it to everyone. I'll say it to you. These guys at R7, at your level of the game, I just really think anyone who does not bring them to Relic 9, it's a mistake. And it's a mistake that when you fix that mistake, it pays off relatively fast, right? A 1-year payoff with no refreshing is a very fast payoff for a game like this. These guys, your shards, you're at a point where you should have this finished up in about a month or two. Once it is finished up, I really would bring them at least to R7. You know I'm going to tell you R9. I know that it's not for everybody because the ROI is a lot higher. But I would bring them to at least R7. The added bonus here is that the Captain Enoch Omicron does open up a lot of autos in TB. So if time saving is a big motivator for you, they are a great team for that as well. Just got Mando Bow. Let's check out this Jedi Knight Cal. Oh, interesting. So we're not... It's interesting you have all three of the Omicrons, but you're not beating this all the time. There are a bunch of different... I feel that. We did Easter yesterday, so that's why I'm home. There are a bunch of different modding strategies for this that everybody has, and wanting to like keep health low so that the thermals, or I don't remember, the explosion from the probe droid doesn't hurt as much. I think if you're not remodding, I really just went the speed route. And I think that's the one time that you want Seer to have speed. So I do remod specifically for the event. And I don't know. What I do is in the first round, I get... in the first round, I get down the first Purge Trooper, and then I just keep using the first special over and over and over and over and over again with the Armor Shred. And then going into the second round, I use the defensive one. And that seems to work for me, and I have a very high win rate. Reva, I don't know what... I don't even know if I'm going to bring Jocasta Nu up past G12 personally, because I'm not going for Mace Windu. I'm going to wait on other people to see if that's worth it. I will say that Reva, strongly worth it, and I would get at least one of your Omicrons on her. I have the one Omicron. I think it's the lead Omicron on her. Goth Ray, I have 2 of her Omicrons. Oh, right, you don't have her unlocked right now. I have 2 of her Omicrons, the tank one, the taunt one, and then I think I'll have to pull up my game on my phone. And we'll wait while I wait for my phone to load. Blah, 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 blah. I guess I could just go to my .gg account too, but it's not fun for you guys. But it gives me a chance to relax. Let's see, Goth Ray. I still call her My Chemical Romance, even if it didn't take on. So I have her unique, and I guess her other unique. I have both of her uniques, and I do think that they're both pretty strong Omicrons. I want to look at the ones that you're missing. Gear needed. What to Omicron? Let's say just territory battles, because I know you're a time-saving person. Again, Enoch Omicron is super, super solid for when that team gets built up, and is a big time saver for me. I see you don't have the Tarpals one. The Gungans one, man, again, Tarpals, it makes so many things auto for me. You know, I don't know where your guild is in terms of what combats they're doing in territory battles, but I know that I auto with the Tarpals Omicron on basically every single planet, whether it's Ring of Kafrene, whether it is Lothal, whether it's Zepho, whether it's Braca, with that Tarpals Omicron, and Braca sucks. It's like my least favorite TB planet. So that for me is a strong time saver contender. None of the other ones you don't have seem too terrible. Finn, I'm told, is an amazing one, but I don't have it and I haven't played around with it, so it makes it really hard for me to recommend something that I haven't played around with. You're going to want at least one on Bo-Katan. I have two. Which two do I have? I have her lead, and I have her unique. I'm going to tell you my secret, though. I think that all GAC Omicron characters deserve at least one, as long as you can make use of that character fully. And what I do is I just go here to what to Omicron, and I compare the Omicrons against each other, right? And I go, oh, hey, 800 people have this, 881 have this. That makes sense. Let me apply the one that more people have. That generally is the better one. But what to do, right? That becomes the question. Let's see. JMK is close. Damn. Star Killer. Man, Star Killer looks pretty close. Inquisitor, Jabba we got. Funny, good. We have all of these. We don't need Afra. Ahsoka's kind of a letdown. Like, she's a strong team, but she doesn't really have a place. Which kind of sucks. Let's see. Okay, good. Let's check this out. So you don't really have any major big projects right now. I probably would go for JMK just because you're so close to her, and you have Commander Ahsoka. So I would make that like a kind of like a primary project right now. You are going to have to put a little bit of priority towards this raid. And I've said it so many times, you know, which team you choose to put the more priority to is going to really depend on the amount of money you want to spend. And as someone who's not free to play, but who only really purchased Lightspeed bundles, you're probably not going to invest heavy resources. My pro for really focusing Bad Batch for you is that I think, like, I don't have it yet, but I've heard that Wrecker's TB Omicron is insane. And it's one that I've isolated as something that I'm probably going to get. And I see it as potential strong auto contender. So for a person who is, you know, efficiency minded and time minded, this might be a really solid team to go for, especially because they've already started to become farmable. So for someone not spending a lot, they're the preferred raid team, in my opinion. But otherwise, I would get JMK up. And just because you're there, and beyond that, I would wait till we see what we have from the current raid teams, or, you know, the stuff that's already in game, because we don't have answers for that right now. Let me give a TB and raid. Yeah. We don't have answers for that right now, and you are going to want to keep some stuff for you to be able to say, okay, I got to jump on this new thing, or not new thing. I have to jump on this old thing, you know, because this team does 1 million, and I can do that just by upgrading a little bit of gear. So it's just some things to keep in mind. JMK should be on your forefront. Try to get those R9 lover boys as soon as you possibly can. Peridia Patrol, you're close enough to 7 stars with them that I consider them a strong contender to at least R7. Bad Batch, the new ones, I would probably be doing at least 10 battles a day on each of them. And I wouldn't go beyond that. I'm going to finish with the roster reviews today, just because we want to save some for next week, but we could take some time to chat while before we head off for today, and I can catch up with what's going on in the chat world. Just give me 1 second. There we go. Okay, let's see. What Omicrons do I review? Man, you got a lot of questions. I hate Dathomir. Why do they do like 200,000 damage? Man, I don't love Dathomir, but Dathomir has a lot of autoable teams. I don't hate it anymore. Night Sisters do really well there. Captain Enoch Omicron does really well there. SLKR with DS Ray does really well there. Not without DS Ray. It's a crapshoot without her. Lord Vader Empire does really well there. These are all auto teams. C and Watt does really well there if Palpatine is the leader. Palpatine leads C with Bane, does not need Watt. Night Sisters do really well there as well. Omicrons that I regret, honestly, I don't. There's really none that I regret. They all had a place in my roster at some point. The one that I get the least use out of is probably Captain Phasma. But when Captain Phasma's Omicron first came out, it was an insane Omicron, and it did a lot of work for me. I don't feel limited by Omicrons. There are a lot that I haven't applied, but there aren't a lot of them that for me, I go, oh, hey, I have to have this right now. So I don't really feel limited. I apply them pretty liberally. I love my TB ones. They save me so much time and effort and energy. Glad's place is in TB. Yeah, she does great in TB. But Kessel, personally, I wasn't struggling with Kessel before her. JMK and Kat does really well on Kessel. Night Sisters do really well on Kessel. Jabba obviously does well on Kessel. Leia does well on Kessel. There are a lot of things that go well on Kessel. It's not about finding a team that goes well on Kessel. It's about finding a team it's finding enough teams for the day, right? Because sometimes you have Kessel, Mandalore, and Lothal open, and you're trying to split those teams around. So Glat does have a place in beating things in TB, sure, but there are a lot of other options you can use depending on what your guild situation is for her. I think my big disappointment with Glat is that she hits with a fucking pool noodle. Like, it is so boring to watch her battles. I remember in my last GAC, I had a battle against a Glat who had no ultimate. And I took in my Glat team against this no ultimate Glat. And neither of us had Hezra. We both put Hezra with our Rey. And I managed to get her team down to literally just Ahsoka, and all of my team was still up. And you still couldn't kill her. They just go back and forth doing literally no damage to each other. And it's just so god-awful boring to watch. Where Glat does shine is on, I think it's Coruscant, right? On the day one planet for Rote, where things just explode. Right? Like, literally just explode. And it's so funny that things explode. David, we did get an event. People keep saying we didn't get an event for Glad. We did. We got it for her requirements, though, right? The Peridia Patrol characters, their requirements for Glad. So instead of saying, hey, you have to get the whole GL, they said, hey, you just have to get half the requirements. And I did it immediately because it was a great event to do. What Zetas would you recommend for the new Bad Batch for the raid? I have no idea because the raid isn't out yet. As an example, in this last raid with Battle for Naboo, there were Zetas on like Grandmaster Yoda and Mace Windu that are great for them in other game modes that kind of mess with them in this game mode because they give foresight. And you really don't want foresight on your Jedi teams because you want them constantly counterattacking. So it's really hard to say, hey, these are the Zetas you're going to want when we don't know what the battle or hero mechanics are going to be. That's something that, like, the first week the raid is out, the second week the raid is out, that we're going to be looking at it and saying, hey, what works, what doesn't work, what do we need, what don't we need? And Belloc and the raid server and the guys over there and girls over there, you know, they do a great job of putting stuff out, and I try to work with them a little bit. You know, so I think that that's something to wait on before applying Zetas if you are Zeta poor. Yeah, you can do those without all the R9s. 100% you can, but I just think, you know, Leia obviously didn't have an assault battle. She had a battle associated with a new tier of an old event for her. And the same thing with Jabba. And we're kind of running out of those. And I think that because of the assault battle issue that happened with Peridia Patrol and them saying, oh, we could just cycle these around and only have 8 each month, era battles have become the new thing. But I really would not sleep on Peridia Patrol at all. A smart account is always going to go towards the things that provide them things for free, right? That's the important thing, is you want to find the ways to get materials and items for free. And the more that you're getting for free, the better. Okay, we as account owners, we have to be like the people at Costco that walk down all of the lines looking for the free examples. The free samples, rather. Right? You want a little cracker over there. You want a little piece of cheese over there. You want like that little hot dog over there. That's what we have to do if we want to run good accounts, and if we want to make sure our account is doing its work for us instead of constantly feeling behind. A great example of that is just the CT1s on assault battles. When those first came out, I was not Egnards as we know him now, right? Like I didn't have a YouTube following. I didn't even really have a Reddit following at that point. I was just a dude that sometimes posted to Reddit and maybe sometimes got upvoted, but got downvoted just as much. I saw, hey, CT1 of these challenge tiers looks amazing. Let's get them as low as possible. And because I did that right away, I have never, ever, ever had to farm finishers. I have like 800 to 1,000 of every finisher because I've just let those build up over time. And I've heard from people that I've told that in the last year who have even reached out to me and said, hey, since you gave me that advice, I've never had to think about finishers anymore. And that's what we want with mod materials. That's what we want with Relic 7 materials, with Relic 9 materials, so that whenever they bring out the next thing, we don't have to worry about all the things before it, if that makes any sense. Oh, man. Yeah, and I don't even have a Costco account. There's no Costco's by me. We have BJ's over here. I think we have my in-laws BJ's account, and we never go there, which is dumb. We really should go there more. So with that all said, it is Easter, I know a lot of you do want to spend some time with your families. Those of you that don't celebrate, that's cool too. My TB war with Phatphil is coming to an end. We will make a joint statement as to the winner and what is going to happen. We were going to try to do that tonight, but obviously he has kids. I do not have kids. It's a little easier for me. We will, but we will talk about it and try to work something out over the next day or two, and find out who gets dealt the punishment, whether he has to Omicron his Captain Enoch and the Wampa, right, might get torched. Or I have to Relic 9 my Wampa. We are going to raid out, for those of you who are on Twitch, our good friend, the Lost Swamp Rat, who is always very supportive of our stuff over here. So if you're on Twitch, we're going to do that in just a second. And I go back to work next week, so you will not be seeing as much of me throughout the week. I know. How very sad. And have a great rest of your day, guys. Peace out.